In today's age of Kali Yuga, there is one basic attitude and flaw which is rarely pointed out, and we are rarely aware of it. This basic flaw is the reason for all our misunderstanding, suffering, and darkness. This is the reverse or the negative attitude of laws of life, and that is effort to make higher serve the lower. This is what is happening around the world. Anything which is of any importance is higher than us. And whereas ego, which it thinks is the higher than the most, actually ego itself is serving the lower, which is its own thoughts and confusion. Every person who feels superior or something better is basically a slave of his own thought, of her own thoughts and confusions. Whenever we come across any truth in life, we immediately want it to serve our life. This is the attitude, isn't it? You go to a teacher or a guru, you want him or her to serve your darkness, your negativity. You learn any art, any science, you immediately put it into service of your own selfishness. And we hide it behind the words of you appreciate, that you really love this. Why you love anything, any truth? Because you feel you can make it serve your life. And that is where the real challenge is of transformation. That is where you get really initiated into life. That is where you get really transformed into higher realms, when you realize that you need to serve the truth. You need to serve the higher. And that is the way you can get out of the crutches of your own confused mind. For example, in normal relations, when you fall in love or when you like somebody, a spontaneous flow in you start to serve the other person. And the balance of relation is that other person also start to serve your life. This common service to each other is what creates new energies, new lives. But usually how it happens is that you serve somebody, they start to make you their slave. And that is exactly where we are going wrong in every realm of life. Because that is our conditioning, that is how we are trained, how to make earth serve you, how to make life serve you, how to make truth serve you. But the real existential or the sacred attitude is you at the service of life. And that is the only way you can grow. Otherwise, you are a black hole, a vacuum, which takes in any light and any positivity and consumes it into its own game of thoughts and confusions. This is how we deplete energies from higher energies. This is how we deplete positivities, because our basic flaw, which we are unable to see, is that higher can never serve you. If you serve the higher, there will be growth for you. I personally experienced that in last 30-40 years, because from the beginning by nature I was very simple and innocent in the heart, And any friend or any acquaintance I made, I naturally got into serving their life, serving their actions, and that brought a hurt to me. Not that I wanted other to serve. In other words, that service is a love, a unconditional sharing. And that love, unconditional sharing, when you offer somebody, it can usually create a disaster. And that disaster is that people end up being slaves, but in their heart, they were offering a unconditional energy for growth. So that is just on the normal level of relations, but on higher level, on the level of spirituality or learning anything higher, from art to education, we even get educated to serve our life, our ambitions, our goals. We never once think that what if I serve the education? What if I serve the art? What if I serve the spiritual? That service of the spiritual is what will bring transformation. When you come across a truth, even you study a statement, notice that do you want to serve that truth, or you somehow want to take that truth and serve your ego, and it will make you more egoistic, but you have killed the truth. That is the devil. That is the darkness. So what will be the change of gear? That change of gear is start with yourself. Serve your life. Serve your higher. And your mind should become the servant of the higher into you, which is you, your mind. And that is what spirituality teaches, that ego is needed, but as a servant, which knows that it is nothing beyond without this energy, without this body. So its only work is to function as a servant to energy, to life, to the sacred. Then all the blessings start to happen. Because many people think in terms of destroying the ego, ending the ego. That is again an ego thought, to destroy the ego. Otherwise, ego, which is sattvic ego, means functioning what is needed, and that is the service. Then your mind is a tool to serve how the life flows. And this basic question you need to ask yourself: are you serving life, or are you expecting life or your gods or your spirituality to serve your lies? Because we expect from others what we are doing to ourselves. We are serving our lies. When somebody says, I am confused, I am depressed, essentially at the core, they are serving their darkness. They really believe that is the truth. So this is the trap. Seen from other angle, then you will see all that you have known about spirituality, about life, in a complete new light. And you will understand where things go wrong. And that's what it means to be a true disciple, not following a guru, not following a teacher, but following and serving the truth in whichever form one comes across. You honor it, you bow down before it and serve. In that serving, your darkness becomes the light, your condensed matter becomes the sky, becomes the brilliance. The dark aspect within our ego is like gravity. which wants other energies to converge into you. That means to serve you. And the bright aspect within us is like a sun, which expands and shares light. That light serves everything around. So these are the two basic points to understand. When you want to attract things towards yourself, when you want things to come to you and serve you, till then you are matter and dark. When you start to share, which is serving and giving out to expand life, to flourish life, to bring abundance to life, that makes you the light. So this is very important for self-transformation to understand that are you serving the truth which you are learning, or you expect truth to serve you. This is the inner micro shift which needs to happen. Otherwise, everything you do, your inner terrorist, which is your darkness, keeps on destroying whatever higher energies you earn, because finally it's your mind which justifies itself to be the master and denies everything as a product for its own use. So change your attitude within and notice this process within you, because many people these days are talking philosophies about truths, about great masters, and the whole energy gets leaked out, because when you're talking about truth or any deeper realms of life, notice when you're talking about them, are you serving that truth, or that truth is serving your ego because you want to impress by talking about it? And that is where we cut off the wisdom and its live electric channel into us the moment we introduce it as a tool of ego to play with. But when you're speaking, when you're sharing, is expressing as a service to life, as a service to truth, then more and more wisdom flows into your life. That is something, not a philosophy I share. This is something I learned from myself. And it happens all the time when you notice that why you get depleted even talking the truth, because you will notice your ego use that truth to impress, to express some of your own ego games, and that's where the energy inherent into that statement, into that truth you learned, is depleted. And this is how we keep on losing a power, a wisdom, a light generated by masters, but our mind repeats it, but with wrong intentions. As I know now, I have knowledge. Now I am on my way to become something special. Then you lost it. But when you speak about it humbly, that I just know this much, and that openness, even that sharing, you have the humility that it is something higher than you, and you still doubt whether you really understood or not. And that doubt, that humility becomes an empty vessel where more energy of life can fill you in. And that is very important to understand for people who are onto the path of teaching or spirituality or bringing change in others through meditation, through other processes, is that most of our leakage happens into talking. And I always wondered why that leakage happens in talking. Because in talking, your ego is the most active. So there is a talking which comes as a response to a life situation. Then it's not a talking, it's a dialogue. But there is a talking which comes as a reaction or as a ego proclaiming itself to know something. And in that moment, you are cut off. You are just doing a monologue or a gibberish of the words learnt, but the wisdom in them has disappeared. So remember, wisdom is not in words, wisdom is into your sound. Your sound activates the wisdom inherent into words. Words just naturally do not carry any truth. But when it touches a mind of wisdom and humility, the same very words get activated. And when it touches a mind of manipulation and ego service, same very words will lose their power and they will become boring and draining. Most of the people talk to get attention, but real wisdom talks to share energy, to share wisdom, to share light. So, this is very important to understand in your personal journey into life, into material and spiritual. Share to share, serve to serve, then life will serve you. Hari Om.